After seeing his ex-girlfriend, whom he had abandoned years ago for not being successful, he couldn't believe who she had become. Dear viewers, welcome to our channel. Subscribe to receive more stories every day. Consultant Daniel decided to make a stop at a small park before heading to his meeting, knowing that the day would be long and the project he was about to present was complicated. Upon entering, he saw a familiar face, and after a moment of effort, he finally remembered it was Laura, a former girlfriend he had broken up with 25 years ago. But she wasn't alone, and a big twist awaited him. Laura was about to finish her last year of high school, full of expectations for the next year when she would start her journey in business school. One day after classes, one of her friends invited her to accompany her to her colleague's house, where she needed to pick up a package for her mother. Laura promptly accepted the invitation, showing her friendship. When they arrived at the colleague's house, Laura patiently waited outside while her friend sorted out her task. It was at that moment that a resident of the house, Ethan, appeared. Ethan was a little older than Laura and already exuded an aura of charm and confidence. He was actually Laura's friend's colleague. Starting a conversation with her, Ethan revealed himself to be deeply captivating, leaving Laura completely intrigued in a matter of minutes. Ethan's experienced eyes knew exactly how to impress the young girl, and soon they arranged a date. In the following weeks, Laura was completely involved with Ethan. He was more experienced and persuasive, getting everything he wanted. As time passed, Ethan revealed himself to be unpredictable, and when Laura was deeply in love with him, he dismissed her without a second thought, coldly breaking her heart. It was a painful experience for innocent Laura. A few months passed before she reached the final weeks before the start of business school. Laura was dealing with turbulent feelings and a deep sense of unease, but what awaited her in the coming days would be a devastating turn in her dreams. Laura made a discovery that shook her world. She was pregnant by Ethan. This news shattered all the plans she had made for the future. Immature Ethan, as usual, denied any responsibility and refused to accept fatherhood. Laura gave birth to her son, whom she named Lucas, and had to face the challenging journey of being a single mother, dealing with the unexpected challenges life had thrown at her. Despite the unwavering support Laura received from her parents, it was clear from the outset that the responsibility of caring for Lucas would fall on her. Her parents emphasized that she would need to work to support the baby, and while her mother offered to help care for Lucas while she was at work, the main purpose was for Laura to learn an important lesson about taking responsibility for her own choices. Although the dream of becoming a business leader had to be postponed, Laura found a daily source of motivation to continue her journey. She landed a job as a receptionist at a prestigious consulting firm. A few years passed, and Laura's son, Lucas, was already 3 years old. She continued to fulfill her role as a receptionist at the same consulting firm, and over time, she had gained the trust of the consultants who worked there. Occasionally, they invited her to accompany them as a spectator in some important client meetings. Laura was absolutely delighted with this opportunity and seized every moment to learn and grow. During the meetings, she was attentive, taking detailed notes and absorbing every intervention by the consultants. It was evident that her desire to become a business leader remained strong. It was a busy day at the consulting firm as a new consultant was about to join the team. His reputation preceded him. He was known for representing high-profile clients and famous personalities in the business world. He was a true celebrity. The arrival of this consultant promised to bring a new dynamic to the office. Expectations were high, and his presence would certainly add a touch of glamour and prestige to the already respected environment of the office where Laura worked. When the new consultant finally arrived, Laura and some other colleagues who hadn't met him yet were genuinely impressed. He was a young man, appearing no more than 35 years old, and was impeccably dressed in a tailored suit with carefully groomed hair. His charm was evident at first sight. His presence in the room immediately caught everyone's attention. His confident posture and the elegance with which he moved through the office gave him an aura of authority and competence. It was hard not to notice the combination of youth and sophistication he carried with him. In the following weeks, the new consultant Daniel brought a wave of excitement to the office environment. New clients, including some famous ones, began to frequent the place, and the phone never stopped ringing. It was undeniable that Daniel was not only skilled with words when pitching to a client, but also seemed to have a special talent for building personal connections. Rumors began to circulate about how he used his charm with the office staff, and unfortunately, Laura was no exception. One day, while she was in the break room having coffee, Daniel appeared. Their conversation flowed naturally, making anyone feel at ease in his presence. Laura had learned bitterly from her previous lesson with her son's father, but faced with Daniel's charisma and ability to connect, she found herself drawn in again. It was a complicated and confusing situation, and Laura wondered if she was about to repeat the same mistakes from the past. Laura accepted Daniel's invitation to dinner, but he made a request that she keep the meeting a secret, as he didn't consider it appropriate to make their relationship public. Although they had several encounters, Laura set a clear line for herself. She wouldn't get intimately involved with Daniel until she was sure they were building a serious relationship. To her, Daniel was a professional example to follow, and their conversations were deep and inspiring. In these talks, Laura shared her dreams and ambitions, especially regarding the future of her son, Lucas. Months passed, and the secretive meetings between Laura and Daniel continued. Then a rumor started circulating around the office. Daniel was supposedly negotiating the creation of his own consulting firm. This news caused unrest among colleagues and office staff, raising questions about the team's future. The rumors about Daniel turned out to be true. He founded his own consulting firm, thus breaking the agreement he had with the partners of the office where Laura worked. To further complicate matters, he took many employees from the previous office with him, acting questionably from an ethical and professional standpoint. This sudden change deeply shook the work environment and left many questions unanswered for Laura's colleagues and herself. The way Daniel handled this transition raised concerns about his integrity and professional ethics, and the office where Laura worked faced significant challenges with the departure of so many talented employees. When Laura sought Daniel for clarification about the events and their future, she wasn't prepared for the response she received. Daniel, in a cold and disrespectful manner, belittled her concerns and verbally attacked her. "Laura, I don't have to justify my life to you," he began with a condescending tone. "Do you think I would commit to someone as insignificant as you? I'm a real celebrity. I have a promising future ahead, while you're going nowhere. You'll just remain a mere single mother. Receptionists like you, I have plenty." The deep hurt Laura felt at that moment was overwhelming. Once again, she had allowed someone into her life who deeply hurt her, breaking her heart. It was a pain she knew all too well, an old wound that was now reopening. Laura was determined to learn from this experience and strengthen herself to face the challenges life had in store for her. 25 years had passed since the events involving Laura and Daniel. During that time, Daniel had become a mature and influential man, but his reputation in the business world was ambiguous, to say the least. Among his colleagues, he was known for his greed and questionable tactics, which led many professionals to refuse projects when he was on the other side of the deal. On that afternoon, Daniel was facing a presentation for a high-profile project. It involved a major merger, and Daniel was representing the larger company, which faced several accusations of unfair practices. Despite the serious allegations, Daniel was confident he could turn the situation around and emerge victorious. His controversial consulting style and ability to manipulate negotiations made him a feared and respected figure in the business world, even if it meant employing unethical methods to achieve his goals. Before the presentation, Daniel decided to make a brief stop at a small park. He knew the day would be long, and a walk was a comforting choice. Upon entering the park, he noticed a familiar face, but it took him a moment to recall who it was. With some effort, he finally identified her. It was Laura, now an elegant and confident woman. However, what surprised him the most was the presence of the executive whom his client was merging with, and who accused the company of unfair practices. Approaching the bench with a presumption in mind, thinking that Laura might be an assistant to the executive, what he was about to discover genuinely surprised him. Laura noticed him approaching and confronted him firmly. Daniel, I suggest you stay away from me and my client. This could be interpreted as coercion, she warned him determinedly. My client, Daniel repeated, clearly confused and intrigued by the unexpected turn of events. That's right. I'm the consultant for the case where you represent the larger company, Laura replied firmly. Daniel burst into laughter, underestimating Laura with arrogance. Now I'm even more confident, knowing you're just a receptionist on the other side. He left the park, but Laura remained calm. Over the years, she had learned not to be shaken by the bluffs of arrogant men. She knew that her dedication and professional skills would speak for themselves in the boardroom. The days in the negotiation were intense, with evidence presented and arguments fiercely defended. It was a heated business battle. However, in the end, Laura's side emerged victorious, and the larger company was fined heavily. Daniel, with all his arrogance, could not subvert the truth or shake Laura's determination, who bravely defended her client. Daniel's offenses in the past served as a powerful motivator for Laura. She used his arrogance as fuel to pursue her dream of becoming a successful consultant. She achieved her goal and became a competent and dedicated professional. The moment she managed to defeat Daniel in negotiations was proof of her determination and skills. She not only won the project but also showed herself that she was capable of overcoming adversity and achieving success in her career. Dear viewers, thank you for watching. If you like this story, please subscribe to our channel to receive more stories every day. Share with us what you think of this story.